Why, hello there, wizards and warriors alike. Shams Nelson here from Pen and Blade, and I just recorded this video, but apparently the audio wasn't recording, so I'm going to do it again. Alright, and we're going to talk about how to draw forests, and I'm going to show you 3 ways to draw forests, and then a special bonus rainforest tip from my good friend Hobo. So, yeah, let's just jump right in. Alright, maybe I'll be a little more concise with this one, because I was a little rambly, but maybe I'll be more rambly, because I'm just at the end of my rope. So we'll see. But first I wanted to point out that I've already drawn a map. And the reason I've done this, well, I've drawn the mountains, the rivers, and the coastline, is because I think it's important to draw. I mean, you don't have to. You can do whatever you want. But I think for the best results, for me, I'd like to draw the other stuff and then add the forests in afterwards. And usually I figure out where the forests are going to be based on. So, based on, whatever. So I'm not going to really try to be like, oh, the wind's blowing here in the water. I just put some forest everywhere because we're going to experiment with a couple different forest types. So I'll start off with the one that I least use, but it's pretty simple and I've seen it used to good effect. So one thing you want to think about is the scale. And I like to look at the mountains and say, that's going to be the scale, or maybe I'll make them a little smaller. There we go. Because that's going to determine how big your mountains look. And also where you can fit your forests. So with this size, I could fit the forest. I couldn't really comfortably fit them on this island. It wouldn't look good. You see, it's pretty big. Now, if I were to make that a little smaller, maybe down here we'll do a smaller version. And I guess this is like the sparse forest. But sometimes I've seen it used, I guess maybe with color, in a way that suggests a thicker forest than this. But if you were to put that down there, I don't know. Anyways, it's not my favorite method, I guess. But I thought I'd just point it out. I'm just drawing little trees. Now, I wouldn't mind doing that if you're doing a zoomed-in map, okay? But for this, I first started using the Tolkein Method, alright? So let's make it right here. And this is why I like to use the, what's it called? The rivers. I like to draw the rivers first, because then you can follow them. And you can use, and so you got circles and triangles to make this forest. See, I'm doing the bottom row first. And so let's say I want a forest over here. So let's do the bottom row first. And I can literally even just follow that line because then I can cover it up. And try to make your triangles pointing straight up. That's probably the trickiest part when following a line like this. Alright, and then when you get this part to this part, you're just going to do half circles. Circle, circle, triangle, circle, 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 triangle, triangle, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And, alright, I guess I made this forest a little big for tutorial purposes, because I don't want to go ahead and fill all that in, unless I'm making some kind of ASMR video. But for now, we're not going to do that. And instead, we're going to just pretend that's filled in. And, yeah. So now you get the point. I wouldn't do the top like that. See, now let's go over that line. That line's pretty distracting. But the idea is that you can follow the river and leave a little space around the edge. Give her some room to breathe. Or some room to dream, if that's what you prefer. You can do whatever you please. This is your fantasy world. Don't let anyone tell you different. Alright? But if they do tell you different, then you must honor their right to free speech and allow them to spew their nonsense all over your fantasy world. See, this is what I was worried about. I was trying to be more professional in the first one, but it's too late for me now. Alright? But look, I wanted to show you the technique of drawing the little trees that wrap around the mountain. Look at that. Look how he's behind the mountain now. These trees are getting everywhere. Someone called the exterminator. Look, there's 2 little mountains here. Oops. Now remember, you want to start from the bottom, so it'd be better for me to go like this. So we're going to grow those trees up around it. Like that. Alright. And maybe we'll leave a little space. And one thing I like to do is sometimes leave a little artfully, leave a space. And be like, man, maybe there's a little dry riverbed. Or why is there a little river? Why is there a little forest right here by itself? You know? Maybe there's a little pond in there or something. Who knows? I don't know. Alright, let me erase this because it's bothering me a little bit. And just have a little smaller forest, see? It's my fantasy world. I'll do as I please. Alright, hold on. Let me just give these trees some stems. And then we're going to move on to the third method. And then the bonus rainforest tip. Ooh. All right. And if you're excited about the upcoming new hit map drawing series and fantasy character painting, painting with Shams Ross, then go ahead and gently caress that like button with your soothing and mellow demeanor. All right. So I think you can see how this could be like do do do. Oh, let's put a lake in here. I just feel like there's got to be a lake in here, and then we can put some trees around. So look at that. We can just fill in all these little crevices with trees. Trees are very resilient little fellas. They'll grow wherever they can find a little crack in a rock. They'll put their little roots in there and they'll grow. All right? Unless you give them a very nice reason not to. All right? And that's about it. So we've got a nice little thing going on here. But that took a little bit of time, don't you think? So let's see how many square acres would you figure that plot of forest would run us? All right, so let's go here and let's get a similar acreage. All right, we're gonna use my preferred method, the lazy humans forest. So you're gonna draw. I don't have a name for this method. If you have a name for this method that's amazing and not copywritten, allow me to steal it by posting it in the comments below. All right. And aside from that, you see what I'm doing here? Like when you draw a tree, you're gonna draw this. Now look, if you draw a tree like this, that's fine. You could draw a tree like that. But if you want to make your tree a little bit more fancy, then you do that thing where you break it up a little bit. Not like that, because that looks, I don't know. Actually, that doesn't look horrible. But anyways, you get the point, right? Where you have like a little overlaps. You're going to have something like, oops, not like that, but something like this. So the same principle applies over yonder on the eastern side of this map. And you could draw it without these little breaks and stuff. But if you add a little bit of, see how it overlaps a little there. And we're going to have it come down here. Like that. Oh, we want more acreage. How much acreage? Let's see. All right. Come down here. You know what? Let's do a lot. Let's have this whole bottom area forest, just to illustrate the power of the nameless method, the nameless forest drawing method. See here, I got a little more lazy. That's all right. It's all right. Don't be hard on yourself. This is your fantasy world. You gotta remember. It's all good. All right. And we're going to have this whole area covered in lovely little forest. And you know what? Yeah, no, let's do that. And then we're going to cover this whole area up here in rainforest. Can you believe it? Stick around. Don't be being like, oh no, this will take forever. It's not going to take forever. Relax. Look at that. We're just going to blow this little flying creature away from my mouth so let me continue to speak like a normal human being. And then we're going to just put little half circles, little frowns. I never thought of it that way. But yeah, we're just going to cover this forest in frowns because you know what? Forests live a hard life. Now I'm going to pretend that I can't erase for a second and just leave the forest like that because you usually see that line right there. I'd erase it. But just to illustrate the point that I think it's going to disappear in your eyes. I probably shouldn't have said anything about it and seen if you'd even notice. Right, and then there. We've got a whole area covered in forest. And then, wait, hold on, I forgot a step. We got to still add the stems. It's still a step for this method. And an important one, I'd say. I'll put a little shadow at the very end, just as a little bonus something. And if you guys are using pencil, you can definitely do shadow. I do that all the time, where I'll do the thing in pen, and then I'll come in with my pencil and just shadow it up a little bit. All right, so I think that's it for the forest. So let's do our jungle. We'll do a jungle I guess we'll just squeeze it up here in the corner, all right? So it's going to start off the same as our last method. All right, and then I guess we'll just stop it right there. Maybe you want the stems to be longer and closer together, all right? Because the trees, canopies of rainforest are incredibly high. You know, some creatures live their whole lives up there. It says BBC. And they got really nice cameras and a lot of money, so I gotta assume they're correct. In science. Alright, don't put any pine trees in your... Okay, do you see what I did there? Hold on. Oh man, I forgot my big reveal. Alright, you know what? Just pretend you didn't see that. Pretend you didn't see that. Okay? So let's say you want to make a forest, but you wanted to make that forest even thicker. How are you going to do that? Elementary, my dear Watson. See, I rehearsed this. You're going to put another forest on top. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead, and we're going to break it up a little so you can see it's kind of attached. We're just going to go ahead and put another forest on top. And can we sneak one in here? Let's see if we can sneak one in here. And remember to keep enough space because you want those tall stems. I don't think we can sneak one in here. I've got an idea though. You see that top is going to be the top of the second level. And let's get it all the way here because it's a thick rainforest. Alright, no pine trees. And try to vary the amounts, like do 3 sometimes, do 2, do 1, 1, 1, 3, like that. I don't know. But try to vary it up or else it's going to be more noticeable. And then we're going to do these longer and a little closer together. Oops, I messed it up. I forgot to do the technique. Alright, let's see if I can do it. I was going to try erasing this. And then I'll put the bottom one. And I'll just let the top one be the top of that bottom one. Does that work? You tell me. I'm not sure, but it's the best I got for rainforests for now. Tried a couple things, and I hope I didn't change my brush. Okay, good. And this seems to be the one that works the best. So if you got another technique or can link me to a video or anything like that, please do. So hold on, let me add a little bit of these frowns and make my very unhappy little landscape. You know, what's going on in that forest that makes you guys so sad? Why don't you let me know? I don't know. One thing you could do if you really want to, you could add you could add some stems, man. Some of those trees poking way out of the canopy. See what I'm saying? I wonder if you could even go like this. You know? You have some really tall trees if you want to. Is that crazy? Putting trees on top of 2-layered forest? You decide. It's your fantasy world. Is that our new slogan? No, it's not. I don't like it. It's your fantasy world. I don't know what I'm trying to sell you, but I'm clearly trying to sell you something. Oh no, we got a new slogan, but we're keeping it on the hush hush. Till we get that TM on it, baby. Till we get that CR. Know what I'm saying? Put a little forest down there. See how you can use the forest? You could put this kind of forest here. You gotta think of where you can fit it. Alright, I think that's it. I've done the rainforests. We've done the 3 different kinds of forests. Can you work with these 2 forests together? Maybe. It's up to you. Because that's right. Alright, that's it. You're gonna draw some great forests. Peace, God bless, and stay fantastic, everyone. Oh my, I almost forgot to do some shading. So let's do some shading super quick. Alright, oh, what is this? Alright, so if you're shading with a pencil, you're not going to be shading on top of things. So we can go ahead and put it on a layer underneath, because that's going to be a little more realistic as to how your pencil is going to work. I got a fat pencil brush, alright, so that's perfect. And so what you're going to do is you're going to shade right under the tree, but you're also going to shade the bottom of the tree. So what we've got is the cast shadow and the form shadow. I think those are the terms. I think something like that. So anywhere where you see these not stems, trunks. Oops. What is this? I lost my gray. It's just a basic somewhere in the middle. Anywhere you see the trunks, you can just put some shadow right in there. Alright. When you zoom out, it's going to look better, I think, if you do it on paper and pencil. I've got to figure this out in my style and everything. But I do think it helps, and especially on these. So check this out. Alright, let me put it to multiply. I'm going to use a little trick to make it look a little nicer, because I think you get the point. So this one look a little more natural. Alright. And then you don't have to be very neat with it. Just kind of go like that. I guess if I'll do some mountains and stuff so you get the whole feel for it. But, oops, I forgot some stems there, but it's okay. I don't think anyone would notice if I didn't point it out. Some trunks, excuse me. But see, I got the bottom part and the top part. See, I don't even think you need any there. Do that if you want. Here we're gonna have, I think it's gonna make it look darker in there because see how it's taller, so you see more of that shadow. And then I probably will only do the cast shadow on the bottom part. Or I'll do, I mean, I feel like I'll do it a little less with the rainforest for some reason. Because it's like the top part's sticking up out of the, right? What do you think? And then I'm gonna put some right here, underneath. And this one I probably will give it a little more form. Form shadow. Form shadow is a shadow that's on the trees, on the bottom of the trees. Cast shadow is that stuff that's in the ground underneath. So right now I'm putting in the cast shadow. It's being cast onto the ground. And then on the form, we got a little shadow on the bottom as well to make it look a little more rounded. And then here we got these, so let's put it in. You see I'm doing it like super rough. Like if you zoom in, what is he doing? That looks terrible. If you zoom out, it's like, alright. Side, I guess. You can even put some, choose one side of the trees. You want to get fancy and just do a little on that side. So I always choose the left side. Make sure it's the same side as your mountain. So if you're doing your shadows on the left side there, put your little things on the left side there. Alright. And I think that's it. Does that make sense? Alright, whatever. That's it. Peace, God bless. Oh, the color change. I was like, why does this look different? Because I think I selected a different new color. See, look, it used to be over there. Whatever. Peace, God bless, and stay fantastic, everyone.